Good morning, West Ham fans. This is Gary, and this is the Bobby Moore stand as well. It's Saturday morning. We've got a big game against Crystal Palace this afternoon, which I'm going to. Got a lot to talk about before then. Before I start with the actual show, though, please pay attention to this part because it's really, really important, especially if you're going to the game this afternoon. Okay, so let me just find the thing I need to show you. I mean, you will have seen this. You will have seen this already. So this is a message from Jay Gray about his dad, Kevin Gray, age 61, who sadly passed away at the London Stadium during a game. And he was age 61 and he passed away on the 61st minute, sadly. I mean, that's just a terrible thing to happen. Now, he's contacted the club, and look, I don't want to even criticise the club over this. I don't know what their situation is, but they've said they can't put anything on the big screen on 61 minutes. It seems a little bit harsh to me. I've got to be honest, especially because he did pass away inside the ground. However, not knowing their situation, I can't really comment on it. You will know that during the event, what happened. He lost his watch and it still hasn't been returned. They're not even asking about that today. What the family are asking is that you do what the club haven't done or haven't agreed to do, and that is to do something on the 61st minute. Because, just to repeat, he was age 61. He died in the 61st minute of the game. And so I just ask you all, this is, if you're going to the game, that's great, but you can help even if you're not going to the game. And how you do that, if I get rid of this off the screen, how you do that, sitting at home, don't matter where you are today, get on your social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use, send it out, ask people to reshare, retweet, get the message out there so that a lot of the people who are going to the stadium today actually get the message and know what's going on. And let's give Kevin a round of applause on the 61st minute. It's not too much to ask. So yeah, be really grateful if you could do that. That'd be brilliant. I'm going to do exactly the same straight after this show. So let's hope that together we can make something happen. So yeah, let's look ahead to today. And I must admit, I've just again the other day with his presser, I really enjoyed listening to Graham Potter, like I do every time. Now, talking about Crystal Palace, he said a couple of things. There was one thing in particular, you mentioned about Mohamed Kudus. You mentioned about Mohamed Kudus and that he took him off the other night because he wanted him fresh for today. Again, I suppose that was a secondary reason, if I'm being honest. I think he's probably taken him off because he wasn't being effective in the game, and he's kind of thought, well, what's the point? Might as well have him fresh for Saturday. I'm guessing that's where the logic is. What I'm looking for now is whether Mohamed Kudus will respond to Graham Potter in the same way as Lucas Paqueta and Edison Alvarez have. They're two of our great players. Mohamed Kudus is arguably the biggest talent in that squad. If he can get a tune out of him, then maybe we're going to see something special. We could actually see the re-emergence of Mohamed Kudus today. A fresh Mohamed Kudus. I'm sure Graham Potter's trying to figure out exactly where to use him for the most effect. Everyone's seen him on the right wing, and everyone's seen him, what happened with Fulham the other night, which was they put three men on him. And even Kudus is going to struggle with that, let's be honest. So I'm sort of intrigued to see what he's going to actually work out, what he's going to do with him. Regarding Crystal Palace, they're a decent side. They've won a few games, especially away. I think they've won 5 games away from home. Glasner has got them organised. Their replacement for Alisi that they bought. Alisi was a massive player for them. He hurt us every time we played against him. Very, very talented player. And with them taking the money for him, they bought Chalabar in. That didn't work. So they've got this situation where they're nowhere near as creative as they were, because Lacey could do multiple roles along the front, and he could, he could score goals, he could create goals, he could bring others into play. He had a massive positive effect on the team. And now what they're left with is they've got this 3-4-3. It's very static. There's not much rotation. this is a very similar challenge to what we faced the other night with Fulham, albeit a different formation. So for that reason, I expect us to go unchanged from the starting lineup that started the other night, because why fix something that ain't broke? I don't think there was anything wrong with that team, and still until they started tiring, to be honest. Hopefully, we can get off the ground running a bit faster today, because we don't want to give away any clear early chances. We really don't. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely buzzing to get down to that London Stadium today. I really am. And as it is the transfer window, it'd be rude not to do a transfer roundup, wouldn't it? So let's do that. Now, there was loads of news claiming to be news last night. Uh, by that, I mean, we were linked. I think when you're looking at strikers, it's been cyclical. You know, it's just like they talk about Evan Ferguson. A few days later, they talk about him again. A few days later, they talk about him again. I think it's been true for many, but what you haven't seen with a lot of these rumours is the big I suppose you can call them ITKs or journos, the big journos out in media land, actually come in and say that there's something in it. And we are now seeing, and I think this was Dharmesh Chef that's saying that Jonathan David, who is the one, let's be frank, he is the one that we should be targeting without a shadow of a doubt. You know, he scored 17 goals already this year. He's got everything. He's even English speaking. Guy's American, right? Well, I suppose he comes from the French part of. Oh no, he's Canadian. So I thought he was American. Why did I think that? But anyway, he maybe he comes from the French part of Canada, the French speaking part of Canada. Therefore, he can play in France or in England as a native speaker. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, he is the star prize. Make no bones about it. He is the star prize. He is the one that everybody wants. 25 years old from Lille, earning 37.5 grand a week at the moment. That's euros as well. So this guy, if we get him in, not only is a monster, an absolute monster, he's honestly his games to goals ratio is ridiculous. His involvement in the game, in the attacking part of the pitch, his passing completion is in the 98th percentile of passing completion, and that's off of the back of a lot of passes. And yes, I hear you say it's a French league. Yes, and you'll be right. But that sometimes translates, and I think it would, is all they need is the raw materials, I think, and the mentality to transfer from the French league to the Premier League. Not going to get as many goals, but pace, power, intelligence, all that kind of stuff, and in a Graham Potter system, being able to follow a system, follow instructions, he would be brilliant. Now, you're seeing a couple of others being linked with him. He's at Lille. Another one that's at Lille is another guy we mentioned the other night. Actually, I think John mentioned him. Angel Gomez. Well, he's English, so he'd be Angel, wouldn't he? Ange. So he's well, what's he earning? Oh my God, his wages at the moment 13,600 euros. I mean, he must be busting a gut to get away. Now, both of these players are out of contract in the summer, so there is a massive deal to be done there. You know, this kid, Angel Gomez, barely started his career, age 24. So a 25-year-old and a 24-year-old, both top draw, both positions we need. This is an attacking midfielder for relative peanuts. I mean, that is, go get those deals done. That's what I say. Because I think if you got those two, you're pretty much sewn up your transfer business for a bargain price. The ones that are being mentioned, I mean, the one that keeps being mentioned, I don't know why. I just hope it ain't true, and that is around Andre Silva. And they're not saying he's a bad player. It's Portuguesa. I'm not saying he's a bad player at all. But he's 29 years old, and he's at the wrong end of his career. He'll be 32, 33 if he comes to play for us by the time he leaves. I don't think we should be getting players in at 29, 30 unless they're world class. That's just my thought. He plays at the moment for RB Leipzig. They're paying him virtually 100 grand a week, euros. So he'd be on an enormous salary as well, an enormous salary. I'm not happy with that. His goal return is nothing to write home about. Not worth it at all. Now, and so he would be like a backup plan. Another backup plan would be a guy I mentioned the other night and didn't really drill down on him that much, and that's Taiwo Awoniyi. I don't know how to say it, from Forest. You know he is anyway. It's a Nigerian guy. He's on 50 grand a week at Forest. Um, he's not had a great season this year. I think mainly because he was missing through injury, and you know they've got other people who have come in and done the job. Similar symptoms to James Ward-Prowse. He's gone there. They've got a team who are functioning and performing, and he ain't going to break into that team. Well, this guy, I've got a friend who supports Nottingham Forest. He's a season ticket holder there. He's very honest. He's the one who said about James Ward-Prowse last week. It's, you know, we really like him. We think he's a player, but he can't get into our team at the moment. It's just such a shame. So he's quite honest, right? I asked him about this striker, expecting him to say, "Oh, he's rubbish and injury prone." He said, "No, he's actually a solid player. He's a decent player. He's a good striker. He's not that injury prone." He said, "He's fast. He's powerful. He did a good job for him last year." Yeah, that was his opinion. So I'm only repeating what a Nottingham Forest fan, a season ticket holder of many years, has told me. So again, it would not be my choice, but one who I would happily settle for is one that I went into the other day, and this is Evan Goussand of Ivory Coast player who's playing for Nice at the moment. It cost us about 20 million quid. Never had an injury in his life. Age 23, really good rate of return in terms of goals to game. He looks like he's got it all. He carries the ball. He takes people on. He loads of touches in the last third of the pitch. He tackles, interceptions, blocks. This guy does everything. And I just think this is, if we do not get Jonathan David, then this guy is too good to miss. On stats alone, I haven't even watched his show reel yet. Don't know what that's going to be about. So that is. Oh no, let's talk about outbounds. So Al Hilal, world famous team from Saudi Arabia, look like they've put in a 15 million bid for Guilherme. Guilherme has had call it five caps, right, for West Ham. 5 goes, 5 little bites for West Ham. He hasn't really got a chance, has he? We covered this the other night. When he's come on, he's looked all right, to be fair. He's looked all right, and he ain't. I mean, when he came on the other night, didn't really pull up any trees, did he, to use a Harry term. But I do believe he hasn't really been given a fair crack. And I also believe at 18 years old, moving out of Brazil for the first time in his life, coming to live in London, must have been a hell of a move for him. So I don't really doubt the guy's football talent. He's actually done all right. But he ain't got a chance. Maybe he's not a fit for us. And we'll probably lose about 10 million on him if indeed we did pay 25 million up front, which I'm still not buying, I'm afraid. I'm still not buying that. But they keep hammering away. They keep hammering away on that one. Apparently, there's no takers for Guido Rodriguez, but again, I think as a squad player, I think he'll plug a gap for the rest of the season. And Julian Lopetegui, sorry, it's have a sip of tea, is down to the last two to manage Belgium. It's him versus Thierry Henry. There's a clamour for this man's signature. Such is the talent of Julian Lopetegui. A bit of strange news for you. I don't know what to read into this, and I haven't read anything into it, so I'm just going to give you the headline. The London Stadium. Sadiq Khan has sold the London Stadium for £1 to GLA Holdings. GLA, I would think, Greater London Authority. So it's probably out of one pocket into the other, I'm guessing. So the £1 is just a nominal fee to move it across to a different entity. But that could be right, that could be wrong. So yeah, let's just talk a little bit before we go. If you're going to the game, if you're not going to the game today, you know, you're a West Ham fan and you need to listen to this. You know, Graham Potter, when I see something I like, I grab it with both hands and I back it, I get behind it. And quite honestly, he has triggered my imagination quite a lot, Graham Potter. He's not the manager a lot of people describe saying boring, but no, I find him far from boring. I find him really, really entertaining, actually. The way he speaks, I like articulate people, the way he speaks, the way he carries himself, the way he explains himself. He doesn't shirk away from these from difficult questions. He will explain himself. If he makes a mistake, he will explain himself. And I love that. So as a baseline, that's great. His man management is great. His investment in psychology, in player psychology, is great. It's clear. It will clearly pay dividends. It can. There's no way it can't pay dividends to understand, how heads work, basically. So that is a huge advantage for him. He's also very rested. He looks fresh. He looks like he's just come off the sunbed, right? Beautiful man. So look, but this is going to be a marathon. It's not going to be it's not a sprint. This season is about, really, he was probably just told, keep us up, keep us safely mid-table. I think we're going to achieve that with bells on, I've got to say. But the whole thing, the grand pot of tenure is a marathon. It's going to, we're going to face, if you think about a long distance trip across land and sea, you're going to come across rough villagers, angry Millwall fans, the lot, right? You're going to have to bat them off. He's going to have injuries. On his very first game in charge, 2 of his first team got taken off. One, after 15 minutes, his only striker. He has looked at what he's got, and he's put a team out the other night against Fulham. He's changed it mid-game and won it. He's showing intelligence, and he's showing a couple of things I've always wanted. Number one, don't give the bloody ball away all the time. But number two, just make the best of what you got. Give every player a fair crack, because to my mind, and this includes, the last manager, he did not make the best of what he had. He just said, I want you to do this system, and if you don't do it, it's your fault. I'm going to replace you with someone else. Say you're rubbish. Say they didn't buy me all the players I needed. Well, would have cost an arm and a leg to buy the players he needed, let me tell you. Graham Potter will make the best of what he's got. But just going back to my point, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a tricky journey. There are going to be upsides and downsides. We might lose a couple of games on the bounce at some point. We might lose today, right? But just have patience and just listen to the manager, see what he's got to say, and see if it makes sense. I'm not going to. I just don't want to see people shit themselves and stamping it when we hit a bit of a tricky patch and start ranting and raving. Let's do what other fans don't do. Let's invest in this manager as a fan base. Choose him. He's our man. Let's get behind him and sort of support him through the highs and the lows, because I just got a funny feeling he could build something very, very special here if he's given the backing and the players, but not only them, most importantly, of us, the fans. If we get behind him, beyond, you just get behind him. By the way, you're never going to get everybody to get behind, but en masse, if the West Ham fans, especially in the stadium, and those at home who use social media, get behind him, he will feel that support. He will feel that support, and he will do better, because you do better when people are cheering you on and supporting you, right? That is for sure. I just don't, it would really stick in my craw if we have a little slip up and suddenly people are ranting and raving about how he needs to be replaced. Come on, let's have a bit of a settled period now. Let's grow. Let's build this club into something we know it could be, or this team anyway. All right, so I'll tell you, he's going to bring something good. He's going to bring something good. I can feel it in my water. And on that happy note, and as I managed to mention indirectly mention the bald death, sorry. Let's play Canning Town Len's outro, which is the one from the other night, which I thought was really brilliant. And it's all about loyal fans being replaced with tourists. Go to canningtownlen.com, buy your artwork, get a little thing made up of your face, a little caricature. He's great at that stuff, very talented bloke. But he's also very good at making little videos. And the feedback the other night is you enjoyed this one. So here it is again. Come in your hands.
Hey Goldie, what's on today's to-do list?
Why, it's match day, Dave. Are you hoping for a full house tonight?
Not too fast. As long as we sell all the tickets, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here.
Make more money for the tourists here, so I don't care if you come down here.
Nathan Billericker's got a boy for the night. His ex-missus says you better treat her kiddie right. Buys a kid a ticket and a burger and a Sprite. Got a train home, 200 if you like.
Cause I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here. Cause you make more money for the tourists here, so I don't give a monkey if you come down here.
Stop from a pocket, took a bully in the water. Never lost a rumble, but it can't get sore. Climbs more stairs than he did before. What's his whole seat, then he's got to pay more.
Cause I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here. Cause you make more money for the tourists here, so I don't give a monkey if you come down here.
Because the cabbie only goes to football with his wife. He did it as a kid and he's done it all his life. But he don't get a winter fuel allowance anymore. So he's gonna sell his ticket to a bloke for Singapore.
I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here. Cause you make more money for the tourists here, but we don't give a monkey if you're here next year. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here. Cause you make more money for the tourists here, and I don't care if you come down here.